Sha?
Not bad. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I am excited. I have one last like summer trip coming up in about a week or so. Me and the family are gonna go spend just short of a week in North Carolina, where we like rented out a little like I guess that's like a beach house.
Ooh, well, is it on the beach?
Yeah, like it's on the beach, but like
Uh-huh.
it's not. I don't know. I feel like it counts. Like there's no size issue with the beach houses, right? It's like uh,
No, no. If it's on the beach, is it like? Have you seen it? Is it up on stilts or something?
it's on. Yeah, like it's a little house. So like I
Yeah.
felt like it counts as a beach house, but like also like when I hear beach house in my head, like I'm thinking like millionaire shit, and like this is definitely not that. It's regular.
No, this is what the middle class, when there was a middle class. This is their family beach house that, there's someone in the family who owns a beach house and people come out in the family and they do there's just a family beach house.
Yeah,
I have not my family didn't do this. I don't know if it's because no one from my family lived in the Carolinas along the coast.
right.
All my people are inland, but not of Carolina, just of Georgia, or we just are a broke people. And with a second house just for part of the year, that's insane. Um, but I know lots of people who, there's the family beach house, and it's not like a big extravagant like glass windows from ceiling to floor, like it's nothing like that. They're just like little houses
Yeah,
that line the beach, and they're on stilts for when the tide gets high, or something rolls in, and it's very woodsy and stuff like that. It's kind of like people who have cabins in the mountains
right.
where it's
Okay,
like a
cool.
yeah, so yeah, that's a whole vibe. That's a completely different vibe. Y'all have
Yeah,
to move slow as fuck.
like
You know
it's
that, right?
because of the house.
Just 'cause the vibe is slow, because 'cause you're gonna be in the South, and you're gonna be, like, in a beach town?
Yeah,
Where is it? What's the town?
I don't even know. Gabby found an Airbnb she liked.
Mhm.
She sent it to me. I said, "Does this make you happy? Does this make you happy?" And then I hit. Uh,
Okay, well, that doesn't sound like a positive situation. Will this
nah.
do it? Will ya get off my back if I agree to this? There's a lot of love there. That's the
Nah, on the real, like I wasn't angry, but like I wanted to be like sure because like that place in particular was like no refunds.
Oh,
So I
okay.
was like, yo, like I'm good. I'll do this. It sounds dope. But like I
But
need you to be like super sure this is the spot.
mhm.
And like, so yeah, she was like, yeah, this is dope. So we doing it. I'm excited. Like it's I know she really like recharges and feels like like her real pure self with beat shit.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so yeah, like it's not me, but she's happy with it. So
I know she recharges with beach shit, so
yeah,
we're just gonna go
yo,
and let the
yeah,
little
man.
lady recharge.
I'm thinking I could spend 5 days aside and like her and my kids could be on the beach. Uh
Right.
and I'll just get some writing done or something. But
Yeah. I mean, if it's like a sleepy little, which it probably won't be that sleepy because now is the busy time.
yeah, it's
So,
like the week before like everyone up north goes back to school,
yeah, but,
you know.
those kids in that town, they might have already been back to school since the beginning of August. Like, they don't play around, but about getting the kids in school. But then again, the kids also in the South get out of school like the end of May, early June, whereas it seems like the kids here in New York don't get out of school until like July 1st. And I don't know
Yeah,
why
it's like
that
right
is.
before as wow, yo.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Listen, but like, I think it's the move. Like, I want like my fam to like get a varied summer. I know Gabby and I got to go to Mexico. The kids didn't, so I want
Mhm.
them to kind of get some like summer
A fun
vibes and all
thing.
that. Yeah, like
Sure. Are you driving or are you flying?
I'm gonna drive down because I want to do stop probably in like DC or something and
Mhm.
get some like some culture in, and like make them see like a statue or something. and like
Are you gonna go to, like, a museum? Are you going to the Black People Museum?
I don't know. Is there's a Black People Museum?
Yeah, the Smithsonian African American Museum
Oh, okay, I was
for
like
the
that. I don't
nation.
know. Just that felt very different in my head, but like okay,
No, I mean, it is the Black People Museum.
okay,
Like, the government helped fund it, blah, 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 but it is the Black people. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna walk out of there feeling happy. I have not been, but my understanding is it covers the whole experience, and so that
okay,
might be something, um, of interest to your kids, especially since, places are trying to not teach that.
yeah,
It might be, an interesting thing to have in their arsenal, but, I mean, it's a big deal.
okay.
I've been wanting to go.
I'll add
Like,
that.
yeah, look into it. If you're trying to go see some sort of culture in
Yeah,
DC,
yeah, because
you
like I
might wanna
figured it's
try
a
that.
good pit stop. We're already driving through all of that anyway.
Mhm.
Get some like education in the trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try to be like I try to like I said, I know I'm like I'm like like a C minus dad overall. But like effort, I know I'm like there. So like, I try to like win out in those ways. So this feels like one of those trips so like I can get some culture in, show them a little bit of the East Coast, and
Right.
then spend some time in like a quiet North Carolina town that's by the beach. Because like I've come to like I don't know if you know, Sha, I'm real New York, as you have
Oh,
seen.
huh, I never picked up on that.
Yeah, I'm very much like a man of this particular town and only this town, and I
And no other town.
no other town, and I've noticed that like Aiden is like similar. He's like very much like nah, Brooklyn only.
Right.
And like even Michaela, like low key, like we was in like East New York borders like Howard Beach,
Uh-huh.
and we were in Howard Beach yesterday getting like pizza, and she was like, "Man, this ain't bad out here," and I was like, "This is Queens," and she's like, "I feel betrayed," and I was like, "Geez, that's like a lot for
That is a lot for just
like my bad." They make good pizza here, but
that's very funny. Man,
yeah.
wait till they go out into the world and people are just like, "I don't understand what any of that means. Who cares? I truly don't care. Wait a minute, you don't know anything about college football? Then why am I even talking to you?" Like, just
Yeah, and
uh
like I feel like that's like I love my hood. I love everything about being from New York, but I
mhm,
also know there's more. And I want my kids to like I genuinely don't care if they become hyper New York. I just want them to
right.
know it's a choice.
Yes.
I feel like I didn't have the choice. Like I feel like I realized there's worlds outside of New York at like 32, you know?
Yeah,
So yeah, I want them to experience it earlier. And then, if you're like, yo, I'm still pro Brooklyn, at least you like saw it. You saw other shit.
right. I
Um,
mean, I think there's nothing wrong with being, pro New York. I absolutely get it. But it it feels a little different when you're able to see what else is out there. You know what I mean? Because then you can understand how the rest of the country works, hell, how
yeah,
the rest of the world works, and still have that nugget of yourself that will always understand how New York works.
yeah, that
And
feels right.
that's kind of a tough thing to, like, pull off if you're not, and that can come no matter how long you've been in New York. If you've had any sort of if you were been in New York long enough to have some sort of interaction, if you were born here and you've been here long enough to have any sort of interaction with people or just to see kinda a little bit of how the world works, that still sticks with you, and you can
Mm,
bring it up at various times. And I say that as someone who was 8 when I moved to Atlanta, and was still enough New York in me for people in Atlanta for years and years to just go, "You're not from here." Like, to know immediately.
well, I'm
And for
hoping.
people when I moved back there, there are plenty of people. What was I think I was talking to someone, maybe Michelle Buteau was just like, "You're from Brooklyn, right?" And
Okay.
I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Atlanta." And she's like, "No, I thought you had Brooklyn energy." I was like, "Well, I was born in Brooklyn." She was like, "See, I knew it." Like those kinds of conversations.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you wanna get them out of it, while also, having them a part of it. I sent you the link to I literally Googled Black People Museum, and it popped up immediately like, "Bitch, is this what you're looking for?" Yes, I am. You are absolutely right. I am looking for the National Museum of African American History and Culture.
Shouts
I
to
just
Google,
put in
yo.
Black People Museum. I could hear Google roll its eyes at me as it gave me the correct answer.
We're trying not to talk like this anymore, Shot.
I know. Oh
Okay.
boy. Just you know what I mean.
I'll make a stop there. Oh, and we're going to North Topsail Beach. So I don't
Oh
know what that
wow.
means in North Carolina, but that's where we're going. The town nearest that I could see is Holy Ridge and
Oh,
Sneed's Ferry.
oh
I don't even know if
god.
these are real places at this point.
I know these literally sound like the cities that you'd find Yogi Bear or something. North Top
Jacksonville.
Wait, let me
I'm gonna be on
Sneed's
North.
Ferry. All right, I'm gonna need to let me zoom out from here because this is to Holly Ridge. We're getting somewhere. Wilmington. All right, so you north of Wilmington.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna be
All right.
there
Got
for
it.
like 5, 6 days, chilling out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm gonna be inside. Really my
Ooh,
only
y'all
day.
in the middle of nowhere.
Yo, it's the boonies. It's just with a
Yeah,
beach.
that's great, but that's what I mean when I was like, prepare to move slow.
Yeah, like Gabby was like, we could buy some food to eat. And I'm like, we better, cause like I
Yeah.
promise you there's no seamless. Like
N
that's
no.
that looked
There
like
if
nothing
there
but
is,
beach and
it's only for
houses.
2 restaurants.
Yeah, I was gonna say like and it's gonna stop at 7.
Mhm.
Like, be prepared. Like, this is gonna be
Yeah, so
us.
you guys might want to, if you go whatever the last big city that you drive through to get there,
Hmm.
you may wanna stop at a Piggly Wiggly and go on and get you some groceries. You might wanna go on and get you some groceries before you get to
It's gonna happen, yo.
North Topsail Beach.
What did throw me off is like while making the booking,
Mhm.
the I get it, but like I don't get it. Like the you know how like Airbnb bookings have like rules and shit?
Right.
In the rules it said um any bed sheets or covers found with bodily fluids, room will be charged $200 to replace the bodily fluids. And like that seemed very aggressive
That
first,
is very aggressive.
right?
I
Like,
can't
yo,
even
like I don't know, like
bodily
like
mm,
I'm not like I'm with my kids, hey, so like I'm not like going there with that intention. If things go down, it's great, but
right,
that's not the game plan for this
right,
trip, you know.
uh-huh.
But
So
like,
y'all ain't planning on having no babies in the cabin?
yo,
Y'all
like
not
they not getting made. That's not the goal,
right.
you know. But if the game like starts, the
Mhm.
game starts. It's great, you know.
Right.
I'm not gonna say no, but like
Mhm.
to tell me that I can't do it is wild when like you're in the business of beach vacations. I feel like that's half of the people signing up for this.
Look, I mean, that's probably why they have that in there is because it's usually a bunch of young people just skeeting all over the place. Yes,
Yo, but like say that about the sofa. Like
but not
if
on the sheets.
on the seats is kind of wild. Like I
That's
feel
where
like
it should
that's
happen.
where it should
Yeah.
happen.
Well, I mean, that's been a It I mean, that's I don't know if you know that, recently Airbnb has been taking a bit of a beating, and so, there were some restrictions that New York kinda put into place that
Okay.
Airbnb was trying to fight, and a judge just was like, "Nah, let them rock." Put these restrictions in place that kind of like might signal the end of Airbnb in New York, where it's like the amount of time that people can stay in an empty unit,
Okay.
like uh it, like it can't be, I don't know, either it can't be a short term, like super short, it needs to be at least a month or something like that. So
Oh, that's wild.
yeah, it's something like that. So and then so that news happened last week, and as that happened, people were discussing how they were done with Airbnb anyway because you pay like a some people will charge, like $100 cleaning fee, and then you get there and there's this list of rules of just like, here's how what you need to do. You need to take all the trash out. The trash cans are a mile down the road. You need to put all blue trash goes in the red trash can. All bottles go, you make a mobile out of them and hang them from a line wire on the, like, they're so detailed, and it's just, and if you don't do any of it, then we're going to charge you $250 on top of, and you've already paid $100 for cleaning. So you're like, why am I stripping your beds? Like, they're like, strip all the beds, wash everything, put everything back, nothing dirt, like, we want it as if you, and I'm like, "Why? What?" So people were complaining about that kinda thing. I got an Airbnb a couple of years ago maybe, and there was, just, like, make sure all the trash is taken out. They didn't have a trash can, and I was like, "Well, how you want me to just dump it on the street? How do you want me to take this out?" And, and yet all of their dishes were not dirty, but not clean, but they did have a
Okay.
dishwasher, so how about in my off time when I wasn't doing anything but watching TV, I just ran all their dishes through the dishwasher. I'm like, "Look, I just did y'all a solid because somebody else could come in here and be like, 'Ew, these dishes are dirty,' and now you gon" you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if anything, I'll tell you this, I left that place cleaner, but it's very just like, if you use our towels, wash them and then fold them a 3, we like to do a 3-fold and a tri-fold or whatever, and then you put them in the, like,
You ain't make this
so
into a dove? Come on, B.
so that's like what this sounds like, is that kind of situation where they're like, we've had enough of washing people's spunk out of sheets. But I'm like, but you also opened up your beach house to strangers to rent like a hotel room. What do you
Yeah.
think they're doing on a vacation in the hotel room?
Yo. It literally
So
like is described as like, come out for this like a romantic getaway.
mhm, but just don't
Just
just
don't
don't come out.
yeah. You know what I mean? Enjoy the spectacular views and any like energy that this provides, take that shit back home with you. Like
Don't leave that here.
don't
We
be
don't want
mad.
that. Yeah,
Yo,
that's kind of wild.
it seemed weird to me, but the views are crazy. And we literally like walk out onto the sand. So I
Oh.
was like, all right, we could do this. Um, I'm excited to take a lot of videos of me and Tim's on the beach. It's gonna be
Oh, I
great.
can't wait.
Expect a lot of like New York and North Carolina energy really soon. I'm
Oh,
also
god.
going just because like I do think at some point I need to leave New York for a little bit.
Yeah, you
Um,
do. I believe that you have to leave New York quarterly, that you need to leave New York at least 4 times a year.
for how long?
At least a week, if it's only a weekend,
Yeah.
if it's possible, if it could be a long weekend, like 3 days or something, but you gotta get out of here in order to appreciate what this is.
Okay. I
And
think I did that until the quarantine.
yeah, I mean, the quarantine did absolutely fuck that up
Yeah.
for a lot of people, but that's when moving here, that's when I realized, "Oh, the only way to make it is is out and then back again, because this is it's too much, it's so much." I mean, when I moved here in the June, and I was back home by Labor Day weekend. We're just like, "Good lord,
yes.
have you heard about?"
Y'all should see what's happening over there, yo.
Oh my goodness, why did y'all let me move back there?
Oh man. Yeah, I've accepted that. I think at some point I'm gonna live outside of New York for like definitely less than 5 years.
Right. I don't
I'm
know, I see you finding a place and finding community because I've talked to you before about for
yeah.
you, it's really about community. You're gonna find a community, it's not New York, but you're gonna end up falling in love with it, and you're gonna, "Oh, they got a Publix there." "N Nigga, they got a Publix there." "Look, from me to you,
yeah.
there's a Publix, go to their deli and get a sandwich."
Oh, you trying to get me to move now?
Have you had a ha y did you
I've
have a
been in
Publix
a
sa
Publix, but I haven't had a sandwich. I had
My dude, my
like the
dude.
chicken and shit.
Yes. Yeah, go buy a rotisserie chicken, y'all eat off of that for a couple of days.
Okay.
That's easy, that's easy, and go to the deli and have them make you a sandwich. You can tell them they got all kinds of stuff. They'll toast it. They'll give you the, "Yes, sir. Thank you.
Oh, this
Have
fire
a
can
great
order
day.
ahead too.
Blessed," all that kinda shit. And then come to me with your little bodega sandwich stories. Not that I'm saying the bodega sandwiches are bad. My system don't agree with it because it's used to these highfalutin sedity Publix sandwiches.
Low key, I got really hyped about ordering a platter and like it only being sandwiches for me. I don't know why that
Right.
excites me,
That's so funny.
but I want to do it. I see that they got lunch boxes, they got sandwich platters, they got wraps. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
they
have
got a
fun here.
lot of stuff, but I mean, like, they'll make a sandwich for you just like, just like you go into the deli or whatever. "Oh, you guys okay, you're by Holly Ridge." "Oh, yeah,
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 we
yeah." So
doing
you're
this.
I mean, like, you guys there's a drive from the mainland to where the beach is.
Yeah. No.
Ooh, yeah, y'all stop by that Publix before you get out there, and do it early because I bet that Publix probably closes at sundown.
We out here, baby. Now I mean beach life.
Also, the population of where you're going in the 2020, census was 1,005.
Shout out, yo. Only Dominican in this area.
Yeah, see if you can meet all 1,005 of them. I bet you can.
They all work at Publix.
I
You
bet you
know what I
I'm
mean?
telling you, I bet you can. I have no doubt that you can meet at least you could clear at least half of that.
Let's get into the news.
Okay.
Kicking it off. Erica Badu
Oh, I love this.
fires back at DJ Academics with a hilarious incense. That's right, Erica Badu brought hip hop media personality DJ Academics to shame with the launch of her limited edition incense. In a recent tirade, Academics, I won't call him Act because that sounds like it's cool and he's not cool.
He's not cool at
Academics,
all.
yo, he's always like, I don't understand how he's popular being real, but whatever.
Okay.
Uh, Academics gave a degrading rant towards the Dallas neo soul icon, attacking her for her prior relationships with rappers. Academics went on to express that he was still offended by Badu comparing him to the animated character Jerry from Tom and Jerry in a 2017 episode of the former complex talk show Everyday Struggle. I never fucked with Erica Badu after she was trying to come on my show and be funny. Um, I learned something so valuable today, fam. She began. You have to really be careful what you think and what you say out here. I learned today that sometimes I said something I said 5 years ago in jest, when we all laughed, actually triggered someone's really deep rooted trauma. They kept it bottled up for a while and it hurt them so bad. It had them out in these streets acting real pussy. Uh, yo, yeah,
Look,
I love Erica for this.
I let me tell you something. So, alright. So, here's the thing. Because I remember when this happened. I remember seeing that clip.
Oh
Because
my
the whole
god.
time she just kept looking at him like, "You look so familiar to me." And he's a troll. The reason he's big right now is because he's a internet troll in human form. right?
Yeah.
So he likes starting shit. He thinks engagement is the key, not quality engagement. So for him, it's all about getting people riled up with whatever. He doesn't have to care about what he's talking about. But he also, uh, I guess maybe if I could paraphrase Erica Badu, I am assuming he thinks he's an artist, so he's sensitive about his shit. So he, he yeah, he's, like, kind of snapped at a few people. But, on that clip, if you haven't seen it, it's very funny. She's the extended clip is just her like, I don't know, you look real familiar, blah, blah, blah." And look, Erica Badu is low down and dirty. Like,
Mhm.
she's so funny, but it's not going to be on a waka waka tip. But if you see it, you're just like, "Oh, that's hilarious. That's maybe mean, but that's very funny." So she's real, I won't say sneaky swirl, she's out there with it, but if
Yeah.
you are on a rah, rah, rah tip, she's just cutting you down the sides real quiet like. Um, but
Mhm.
she's doing it. She takes no shit from nobody. Don't get it twisted. She's a Dallas girly. Don't get it twisted. Um, so and then when she says, "Oh, that's it, you look like Jerry." And then the perfect amount of, like, comedic timing, and she goes, "From Tom and Jerry, the mouse from Tom and Jerry." And they do, like, a side by side comparison thing, and he does, he's got the big cheeks and a dumb expression. He looked like Jerry, and it's very and then she started singing the song to Tom and Jerry, where I'm like, "This is what" she waited till the right moment so she could remember that song, because that's definitely what that is. And, like, she just and that was it. But that was
Yo,
so long ago, and
6 years.
I don't even know what's got him to popping off and talking about her, but like she said, that trauma was deep rooted, and he
Mhm.
she got him in the I'm like, either he's heard that all his life or he's been worried that someone will finally see the resemblance.
Yo.
Or I guess it came because he was just, like, kind of trying to big time, and she was just like, "Jerry the mouse." And I mean, like, yeah, the way she said it, that would've hurt my feelings too. That would've I totally get it where you're just a quiet person and someone's just being all big and bad and whatever, and you just say one thing and you watch them deflate. I I
Over.
relate. I've definitely done that to people. I'm sorry, y'all, but that is how I work. And, so for him, I mean, it's easy to pick on her for, her various children's fathers all being rappers and, different whatever. That's just lazy, but then when he played all his cards and was like, "She called me Jerry," I was like, "Bruh, we
Mm-mm.
still holding on to that?
Mhm.
That's wild." And so then her response was just as quiet as the initial cut down. Like, the way she said what you just read was just so calming that I almost didn't think it was her. I watched the clip and I'm like, "That's not her. She got all them freckles? I didn't know that." And, so when it got to the last part where she was like, "It had them out here in these streets acting real pussy," and then she holds up her limited edition Badu Pussy incense that
Mhm.
has a picture of Jerry the Mouse on the packaging. This bitch, I was like, can you get more well played? I'd never wanna cross her. I
Yo,
never wanna cross her. Um,
and it's sold out, yo.
yeah, it sold out. Of course it sold out. That shit was hilarious. It absolutely sold out.
Yo, shouts to Erykah Badu, legend, comedic legend at this point.
I mean, she's very funny if you are on that wavelength. I don't know if you wanna like I said, I wouldn't really wanna cross her because I don't think it would be nice, you know? I think she would be very mean. I mean, I'd for sure give her a run for her money because I also like being mean in the same way she likes to be mean,
Yeah,
but
I feel like this is like definitely like one of your sparring partners.
yes, but understand that that kind of a fight like that lasts for decades. Do you understand? I don't know if we have the kind of time to complete that kind of fight. That's the kind of fight that would have had to start in middle school for it to be completed now with 2 bitches in their 50s. That's how that kind of fight has to go down. But yeah, I mean, well, of course, I got no reason to everybody listening, I have no reason to fight Erykah Badu. She seems perfectly fine.
Oh, you don't.
I just
This is
wouldn't
all
wanna
just
get in a fight
theoretical.
with her.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is all theoretical, but I have no reason to fight her.
you know.
But for those who I mean, just then stop looking like Jerry. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. You're the worst. Stop looking like Jerry. How about that?
That's
Just do
what's up.
that.
Shot told somebody to change their face. You know.
See, I guess that is kind of mean. That's kind of mean.
In
Thank
other
you.
news, uh, Spots Slovenia woman lets one rip, setting the world record for the loudest burp. That's right. Some people do their best avoiding the burp in public. Not Kimberly Winter. She's refined the art of belching to the point that her burps have been heard around the world. The Spotsylvania County woman recently broke Guinness's world record for the loudest burp by a female. Hers registered at 107.3 decibels, which, according to Guinness, is louder than a blender, an electric held drill, and even some motorcycles at full throttle. When I hear her burp, it scares me half the time because they're so loud, and most of the time they come out of nowhere, said her younger sister, Caitlin Strayer. But when I'm out with her and she burps, people love it and they tell her how impressive and awesome she is. While Winter can't necessarily burp on command, she lets out a sound that she describes as both monstrous and magical. Just about anything that she eats or drinks, from water to spicy foods, beer to fruits and vegetables, provides the needed fuel. The 33-year-old has been letting out burps since childbirth.
Okay, she should probably get that checked out.
Yeah, that's kind of wild, B. Like breaking records for burping loudness.
Here's my problem with it. I mean, at a certain point, to me, and I don't know if I was raised this way or not, but in my brain, if the burp is loud enough, it becomes a belch. A
Mm,
belch is what that really loud "blah" thing is. A burp is just like a "erp," you know?
yeah.
That's the difference. But here's what got me about this. This is she set the Guinness World Record for the loudest burp by a female,
Yep.
not by a person, by a female. We have
Mm,
gendered burping competitions,
yo, you know.
not a they. Is there a non-binary like, what are we doing?
Maybe there, yeah, like I admittedly did not assume that there's like a physical advantage to being a
I don't
dude
think
burping.
so. I mean, I imagine it's whoever can't process their food the best is gonna win, male or female. Whoever
Yeah.
has the most turmoil in their gut,
Listen,
I think, is who wins this.
Kimberly, I believe in you, okay? Take the crown.
Yeah, like,
You know
what's
what I
the
mean?
decimal what was the decibels for whatever man holds that record, and did
Yeah.
she beat that man? Like, let's really get into it. Is it, do are our belches, like, smaller? Is this, like, a whole thing of, like, well, women aren't supposed to be able to burp loudly, it's supposed to be cute little "ribbit," and then they giggle. Like, no, those are our farts, not our burps.
So
Burps are loud.
so the current record for a man is
Mhm.
112.4 decibels. So
She can get there.
yeah, that's 5
She's at
decibels, shot.
107?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 deaths, she can get there.
Yo, that's a
If
lot.
she can do it with any kind of food, then she just needs to plan the correct food. I have a feeling my mom used to get there with just a can of Pepsi. She would ask specifically for Pepsi because she was like, "I need to belch. Someone get me some Pepsi." And I'm like, "We live in Coke world."
You know, the thing that like I'm most surprised by is like they show I've looked up both articles, the article now with the young lady breaking the record, an article in 2021 with the guy that set the record for the
Mhm.
men's division, I guess. I don't know, it's an Olympic event.
The men's division.
But like they're both like holding these like portable like sound detectors,
Right, yeah.
and like they remind me of like the Zoom recorders that people were using for podcasting, and
Oh,
like
that's
that's just
funny.
not the use that like they envisioned when they made that, right? Like, yo, one day someone's gonna use this to measure the loudness of their gas.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what it was used for before. Is it also the kind of, let's have them burp into one of those, whatever the meter is, the seismic counter or whatever for like for earthquakes. Let's really measure it. Let's measure it against the planet.
Oh my
The
god.
ultimate I an earthquake is the ultimate burp. Let's measure it up against those.
How loud, how many times do you have to burp loud before somebody says you should measure that?
I
Yo,
That's
like,
true. How many dates have she ruined
yo,
before one guy was like, I don't wanna see you anymore, but you should call Guinness."
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not an easy
However
convo to bring up with a woman.
no, no, it's not.
Like, I could see
I'm
the dude, like, I 100% believe he burped once and his man's was like, yo, we gotta record this now. But like to tell that to a young lady that like you like on a date, like, yo, listen, this ain't gonna work, but you got a future, you know?
Yeah,
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 that's
like
impressive.
that's so wild. That's so wild.
And finally, giant rats were pumped with steroids and sold as poodles for
No,
$150 a pop to
no.
unsuspecting customers in Brazil. That's right.
Brazil, Brazil, Brazil. Y'all know what a rat is. Yo,
Well,
this is some magical thinking bullshit. I don't even need to know the article what the article says. I ain't even looked at I ain't even brought it up yet. Brazil.
man
I
in
have faith in
Argentina.
you know, the difference between a rat and a poodle.
Yo.
Steroids don't make your hair grow curly. You putting perms on these rats too? Brazil.
Yo, that's yo, shouts to people in need, yo. Like that's opportunity right there, yo. Like, listen, by any
Just
means.
have a pet rat. A rat will be your pet.
Yeah,
I've known people with pet rats.
straight up. Even
You a
tell
rat
people, like, yo, this is how I do his hair. If that's
I
the
put
look you're going
little
for.
curlers in my rat's hair. Do whatever. You don't have to tell him it's a poodle. Tell him it's a rat.
yo,
It's okay.
yo, real
Uh-oh.
talk. More
Uh-oh.
rats should have Jerry curls.
Okay.
That'd be fire,
So
yo. Little hat with
you
like the little oil drip.
look, here's the thing. I don't want to see the return of Jerry curls at all, be it rat or human.
I
That's a lot of mess.
I
That's a lot.
100% want to see Jerry curls on poodles. That like I don't think is a no debate. They're made for Jerry curls now that I think
I
about it.
guess so. I mean, that's also like seeing it on a toddler. A
Yeah.
standard size poodle is the size of a toddler, and man, how big were Jerry like, how many people did you know with Jerry curls as a kid?
Only like two, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like I was towards and like they were both like Dominicans that like adapted too late
Adapted too late to what?
to the
Oh, to
Jerry curl.
America?
Yeah.
Oh, to the okay.
Like they saw Jerry curls in DR, came
Mhm.
over with Jerry curls like at the end of the Jerry curl era and thought they'd be popping when they got here.
Right,
And needed
and
like
it
a
was
lot of convincing of like, nah, we passed that.
yeah, we don't do that anymore. Okay. When my family moved from New York in New York, I didn't really know anyone with a Jerry curl,
Yeah.
because it was the '70s and everybody in my parents' circle, which meant in my circle, were all very pro-black, so we weren't putting that stuff in our hair,
Right, right.
right? And then moved to Atlanta and, the first friend I made, her mother became friends with my mother. Maybe they worked at the same job or something, but we ended up being in the same apartment complex. And her mother would drive us around. She had it my friend had a Jerry curl, her mother had a Jerry curl. The car was like a Cutlass Supreme,
Okay.
and so the interior was like plush. It wasn't leather or cloth, it was like a plush kinda cloth, and everything, the tops were stained with activator because her whole family had Jerry curls. Whole family. Her mother came from a large family. Whole family her cousins, and we hung out with them because it was just me and my sister, and my mother was like, "Hang out with them, there are a lot of them. Get lost in that. Leave me alone." And they
Oh, that's
all had
great.
jerry curls, and my sister and I didn't have them, but we were young, we didn't ask for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was like, "This smells wild," and everything on the tops of their couch and chairs in their car is stained, and I don't want that for me, and I'm sure my mother doesn't want that for us. So I'm good. But imagine I because I was very impressed, I was like 8 or 9. Imagine being 8 or 9 surrounded by people with jerry curls, and you're like, "Nah." Like, "Mm-mm."
Now that I think about it, I might have seen more people with the Jerry curl, but like I only associate Jerry curls with dudes.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, like when I see a woman with that hair, I honestly just assumed curly. I don't know why. Like I box it different.
That's
Like,
funny because I can think of a couple of dudes that I've seen with it, but mostly women.
yeah,
Including
not
a couple of my aunts had, like, not like the hardcore, like, dripping, like, activator every day kinda Jerry
yeah.
curl, but just, like, some sort of process that there was a stickiness to, there was a moistness to the curl that they had.
I think that's why, because like I think when I saw it on women, it was
Mhm.
like just like it was like done with finesse.
Yo, okay.
So like it looked like, oh, that's just nice curly hair. Whereas every guy that I've pictured with it, it was like, oh, that's a thing. Like this is bad. Don't do that.
Right.
Like it was. I can't think of a woman with the Jerry curl disaster. I definitely
Oh,
could think of
they were
guys.
out there.
I'm sure. But nah, that's not my memory of it. I definitely think of dudes like you should not be doing that,
I
and like
mean, that's
women with
funny.
just
Yeah,
nice
because
curly hair.
dudes definitely were the ones walking around with the bags on their heads. Oh,
Yeah,
Um, for any trooper correspondent who doesn't know what we're talking about, which is highly possible, a Jerry curl was a hairstyle that became very popular in the '80s, and it was a process that you did to your hair. As you may or may not know, black hair, is just very, very curly. You may have seen 3B, 4C, all these numbers and letters. That's just telling you uh, the amount of curl the hair has, the curl pattern.
right, right.
So, this would loosen up the curl pattern a bit, so that it was still curly, but a lot looser overall, just kind of a loose afro situation. Um, and but you needed to keep it moist, and so there was curl activator that would help keep your hair moist and curly, and it also I mean, it kept it wet, and the activator was just ugh. And so if you had, that in your hair and you sat on a couch and you lean back, it's literally like if that scene in Coming to America, the first one, where, Eric LaSalle's character is, his dad came up with Soul Glow or what like that scene where his family members get up off a couch and there's a whole wet spot and drip down, that shit is actual and factual.
Yeah.
Um, so to that end, watch Coming to America, the original, like, do that, watch that movie, what am I talking about? But, that is what it is, and Jerry, of course, is spelled Jheri.
Yeah.
Yeah, by some white dude named Jerry Redding, I think.
Yo, shots to
So,
Jerry.
it's just another way the white man kept us down.
Yeah.
Running and that stuff just shaking everywhere, like, just and you had to keep a plastic bag, you spray with activator, put, like, a shower cap on it, and then I guess go to the store or do your day. I don't know, it was wild times in the '80s.
Yeah, we was out there.
We
You
was
know what
out
I
there,
mean?
activator on our shoulder pads, it was insane.
It's definitely something that like if it was current today would also be on my band Airbnb list.
Yeah.
Uh
Oh, for sure. You can't
100%.
there's no way. Oh, the oh my goodness, the restrictions that would be placed on anyone with a jerry curl. Anyway, about these Brazilians and their little rat dogs. I'm sorry, I totally forgot that's how we got here.
Unidentified man from Argentina spent $150 on what he believed to be gorgeous toy poodles, but turned out to be ferrets pumped with drugs.
Oh, they
Uh,
weren't even rats, they were ferrets?
yo,
Jesus.
the individual was duped by the knockdown price for a pedigree dog and became suspicious. Apparently not when he saw them, but when he bought the what Argentinians call Brazilian rat. And when he returned home, took the dogs to the vet for their vaccinations.
Oh,
He had
no.
in fact purchased two ferrets that had been given steroids at birth to increase their size, and then had some extra grooming done to make their coats resemble a fluffy toy poodle. Um,
There's a photo.
yo,
I
yo, my man, you
Gastor,
deserve this, yo.
wait, can you save this photo? Please make this photo oh my god. Please make this photo the cover of anything. Like,
Okay.
I can't. This is by far maybe one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, nah, my man deserved this, yo. You got like real talk, low key, for $150, you got a deal. Like this was an experiment, and like they did work. This is as close as you could get a ferret to a poodle. I honestly believe the man behind this spent way more than $150 on this. Like
I mean, you gotta train a ferret to sit still while you shoot it up with steroids
yo,
or swallow a pill or something. I don't know exactly how you take steroids nowadays, but, let alone how you get a ferret to do it.
listen,
Um,
I
Also, why are we calling them Brazilian rats? Ferrets are ferrets.
yeah, let him rock.
Quit trying to let him be a ferret, but don't let him be a poodle. I don't know. This is
Yo, there's big money spent on this exact same thing at Sephora every day. Okay, I promise you, hundred fifty
Yeah,
dollars was used.
this ferret cum poodle definitely looks like a full face of makeup if you didn't put a setting spray on it, and also, you're a ferret.
If you would like
Oh.
to see what other animals we could turn into poodles, you know, all you gotta do is like and subscribe to the show, baby. If you're an Apple or Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars. You don't understand what we're capable of. Okay, big animals could be poodles too. Little animals could be poodles. Don't matter.
Big animals big animals can be okay.
Everybody could be a poodle. You know, 5 stars. You understand? Poodle is how you identify as an animal. Okay, maybe all these animals want to be poodles at heart.
Oh, well, I didn't even think about that.
You know,
Yes, sure.
let
Maybe
them
the
do.
ferret was like, "Make me a poodle.
Make me a poodle. You know what I mean?
Make me a poodle.
Live how
Sell
you
me
want
to
to live.
somebody."
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Shouts to Brazil for being progressive like this. Okay.
Nah, meh. Let's slow down. I don't know if it's progressive. It's something. It is something.
Do you have any articles you want us to cover? Please DM us directly on Twitter or Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. Shout outs this week to Iron Fist Mom, Stephanie Gale, FCBLJ, and Tanya Wayman for sharing articles. Always appreciate y'all. With all that said, I am the admittedly curious what my hair letter and number would be. Gastor Almonte. Um, you know, because it's normally like this, but I know that when I let it grow during the quarantine, I found out I was curly, and I was like in my late 30s when I found that out. I didn't know that, so I guess it would change now, but I don't know.
Gray might make it change, but you could still be curly. That's the biggest shocker of the quarantine was how many men I knew who had naturally curly hair. I had no idea because they never let it grow out.
Yo, blew my
And they
mind,
didn't
Sha.
get cuts, and suddenly everybody has luscious, luscious full heads of hair.
Yeah, like my sister was
Insane.
legit mad at me. She was like,
Yeah,
"Yo,
I
like,"
bet.
she
I
was like,
bet.
"You like," she's like, "My hair doesn't curl like that, and like you have legitimately nice hair." And like you've been cutting it your whole life. I was like, yep. Like, and I will start again as soon as barbershops open up. Um, with the perm expert, both for people and for your animals that are turning into poodles, Shalewa Sharpe.
It's the kind of expert advice you get after your hair falling out after your first perm.
Boom.
Once that happens to you when you're, like, 12, you start to learn a lot about perms. You learn a lot about life, really.
The Denzel scene in Malcolm X with that is probably my favorite. With the hair
It's so
straightening.
funny.
Yeah, it's
It's
brilliant.
very funny.
This has been a cultural episode on the War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.
Once the guns go cold, cold.